Imaging, the way we refer to it, is not as much what we think about as photography, looking at the outside. It is more looking at what is inside the body. And this is very important because that's how we can see disease, but that's also how we can see health, aging, how physiological processes in the body progress. So it's a key component of medicine now, and we have come to a point where, for most of our patients, imaging is a key part of any diagnosis. With PET MR, the sum is more than the parts. In MR, the strengths are in spatial resolution, but we have problems of sensitivity. And in PET, we said we have very high sensitivity, but we have a problem of spatial resolution. So if you had both together, you have the best of all worlds. And you can do studies where you can guide the resolution from MR while looking at the sensitivity and the molecular function from PET. In a PET MR scanner, this is really a simultaneous PET MR scanner. So at all times, you're imaging both functions, which means that when we have the MR signal, we know where the boundaries of the brain are. We can use those to do anatomically improved or guided PET reconstruction to improve our PET resolution, because you're getting two images separate from each other. And then both of those are fused, usually in two different color scales. We'll see the MR in grayscale, and then we'll see in hot iron or in rainbow the PET overlaid on top of it. There are different areas where we're working on. One is developing technologies for PET MR for itself. Their concentrations are in the neurodegenerative diseases. In Alzheimer, for example, we're looking at prodromal Alzheimer's disease very early on to see, can we predict the onset or the progression of tau? Because that will allow us to determine who is going to go on the slope of the fast progression, because those are the ones that will be best suited for treatment. Another area we're looking at is in brain tumors. And there the idea is we have developed very fast MR spectroscopy imaging on the MR side, where you could look at characteristics of the tumors. But that's not enough in by itself. Usually we use an amino acid on the PET side to determine the aggressiveness of the tumor. If you add those two together, then you can have a full signature for the neurosurgeon that guides them in their treatment of what they should take or what they should preserve. In the heart, we are focused on the membrane potential, which is very important because that's a prelude for anything that can go wrong in the heart, which means that you can look, for example, at heart motion and heart contraction while you're looking at perfusion because they're happening at the same time. Our center is one of 23 nationally that were created by the National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering, so the NIH. And these are centers that are supposed to be leaders at the cutting edge in their areas, and ours is the only one that is in PET MR actually. And the aim of the center is really to develop bleeding edge technologies in PET MR that are then disseminated to many, many other sites in the nation. Yale is a unique place for PET MR because there's a very strong PET history and tradition here, and there's also a very strong research and history in MR imaging. So we're extremely lucky to have both of them here with many, many famous scientists, and the image processing and deep learning that brings all of this together. It's really an exciting place to do this. That's why we're doing it.